Snow! You guys are frightening me. I have done my share of shoveling snow through the years when I lived in Virginia, right up against the Shenandoah Mountains. I've had my share of snow. We bought our house here. One of the joking things that the real estate agent says is free lifetime snow removal with the purchase of any house in Tamarindo. So I'm by turns sorry and by turns happy that you guys are getting snow. Sorry that you're having to go out there and shovel that stuff. Happy it's not me because I'm old and everything aches way too much to be out there with a snow shovel doing the snow shovel thing. So we are having quite the time in our community, aren't we? We're having some just I'm okay. I am sitting here. My desk is this beautiful Guanacaste wood thing, but it's not level, and I've been trying to level it because the shaking drives me crazy. I can just imagine. So hey, Villanova, Deborah, Christoph Fan, and yeah, we've got some crazy shit going down. I'm just gonna come right out and call it what it is. So much happening out there. You simply can't keep up. Christoph Fan, I went away for the day yesterday. Met up with friends, went to Liberia for the day. There was some talk of going to Bagasis and the waterfall, but that didn't happen. We ran out of time, of course. So it was shop until you drop. And I got to admit, I dropped a major load of money yesterday because I walked in the pharmacy there and they're like, hey, we got this drug, and this drug on sale. If you buy 4 boxes, you get one free. So I didn't want to spend money on that crap, but guess what? Better to do it then than pay full price later. Okay. Hey, Ginger Lee. Hey, Bossy. So I've got to start with KJ. I have to start with without a box, a Kleenex. Hey, Liz. Yesterday, and I saw right before I left, not Jana, Jessa. I get Jana and Jessa mixed up, even though I know in my mind that who they are and that they're different. For some reason, Jana comes spilling out of my mouth anytime I have to talk about Jessa. Jessa yesterday posted a video and she was promoting a product line called Native. Now, I haven't even researched enough to see what that is. I'm gonna guess it's some kind of care thing going on. But here's where it goes crazy. Hey, small town Jewel. I'm fine, Maria. Hey, every time that one of the Duggar kids has gotten a sponsorship, something goes haywire. And the KJ fans and KJ start spamming the sponsors saying, hey, did you know so and so and so and so and so and so is involved in rape? They're involved in this, they're involved in that. And it's like, are you effing kidding me? So they try to take the sponsorships down. And I've seen that done to KJ. I've not participated in any of that. I've not written to any of the sponsors of these people at all. I'm not going to do that. Not for KJ, not for the Duggars, because that's really going real life. And I think when you start messing with other people's bottom lines in that way, you kind of suck a little bit. I'm not a big fan of doing that. Deodorant? Okay, deodorant, everybody's telling me. I figured it was deodorant or something like this. When I start hearing Native, I start thinking about stuff like coconut body butter. I start thinking about that sort of thing, which I have to keep that there because I have some very dry spots on my legs. So she pretty much got it shut down. Ginger Lee, I'm the same way. Life is too short to be going around and being all vindictive and writing. All the sponsors are going, hey, do you know who it is that you're using as your sponsor? Well, surely they have to know something. And not everybody gets sponsors. Not everybody wants sponsors. I've had 5 or 6 approaches, and it's all stuff that I cannot see myself endorsing. So I've just said, no, I'm sorry. I have a friend who wants me to promote his book on my YouTube. I told him I would have to look at the book and see, because I'm not going to promote something willy-nilly if I don't have some kind of liking for the thing. It's just who I am. I promoted Mike Hickman's book, 1324, back when we had NLQ, and there was a reason for that. It was really a good book. He really laid out the whole thing with fundamentalism, with the IBLP, with Michael Pearl. It was a fictional book, but it was really good. I thought it really showed the quite genuine ways that can harm people. Hey, Sienna. Chicken and fries. Oh, is that what you're doing for dinner? I'm jealous. I'm doing salad. Salad. I'm so sick of that. Anyway, long story short, this is what she has done recently. And I don't know how they're not suing her, because she's constantly interfering with something to do with the Duggars. She's saying that they're all rapists and criminals and various things. She's accusing them of stuff, and it's like, no, you can't say that. And her drunken rant the other night, and I seemed drunken to me. I'm just going to come out and say it. She said that the men in that group were reaching out to her in a weird sexual way. I can't see it. I have dealt with these people for ages. I've written about them. I have had some reach out and contact me in ways, and I have never had anyone be sexual with me at all. But then again, I'm not as young as her, so there's no telling, but I don't believe it. I just do not believe it. I hope the Duggars are just compiling a gigantic case against her. I hope so too, Villanova. I'm waiting for that. She wants to fuss and complain that they rely on Jim Bob for money, but when they do sponsorship of anything, she tries to prevent them from making money every single time. Hey, Bliss. So she really tries hard to shut down everything about the Duggars and not give them at least a little bit of your free virus tests. You're so lucky. Here, they don't do that. You can't have those things. You can't even buy them. They don't have anything like that here. So if you got to have it done, if you got to have the be tested for what they call the virus here, you have to pay, and it's kind of costly unless you have the socialized medicine here, the CAHA. Then you can have it done, but they're not testing everybody through the CAHA. You have to have a reason. I mean, you have to have like the symptoms, all of them, before they'll test you. So getting the test can be problematic unless you're paying out of pocket. And it's about $100 to be tested. So there's that. The next time I go to the States, I'm going to see how many of those tests I can buy and bring back with me for us, because I get to play that fun game, asthma or COVID, frequently. So I got to go back to the whole thing with KJ. That is the whole thing with her now. She's not doing YouTube videos, which makes me wonder what happened with YouTube. Did she get struck again? So I'm kind of done with her. Renelle Smith has some excellent videos she's been doing on KJ's latest happenings. So I would recommend you go watch Renelle for everything that KJ's up to. Why don't any Duggars react to KJ? Doesn't have to be a lawsuit. They can do Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, but they stay silent at all times. I think it's because Jim Bob has trained them to do that. I really am a big believer that he has done that. You don't mention anybody like that. The years I was writing for NLQ and I was writing stuff about them, I never once heard from any of them at all. And I know damn good and well through unnamed Duggar insiders they'd seen some of the stuff I'd written. She did upload 2 YouTube videos yesterday. Oh, did she? So she's apparently back on YouTube. Interesting. Which leads me to the next thing I want to talk about with the community. Carolyn Ironwill. Okay. I just have to say, I'm withdrawing any support for her whatsoever, and I was only borderline supporting her anyway because of some things she'd done recently. Carolyn apparently, not apparently, what am I saying? 3 nights ago, was it? I sat here on my computer and I talked to her for quite a long time. Hey, Auntie Kiki. They are her cash cow. She can't give them any breathing room because she needs the clicks. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I love her now. She is more clear than I am about everything, and she has the clips. She does it. She has all that technical ability that I do not have here in Costa Rica, and I think she's pretty awesome with what she says. So, what we're talking about with Carolyn Ironwill is 3 nights ago, she approached me in messages and started telling me she was going to kill herself. Now, I had pretty much backed off from having any friendship to do with Carolyn because I'd seen some problematic behavior there. And I don't run out here and bash everybody when I see problematic behavior. I just back off. So she said a bunch of stuff to me. I talked her into at least sleeping on it overnight. One of the things that since I left NLQ, I have problems with is people will trauma dump on me. And sometimes I'm in a good place where I can handle that. But this last week and a half has been asthma city. I haven't had the emotional energy for it. I have some emails I have to answer as a result. People are trying to get me to do various things and trauma dumping, and I just can't handle it. Joke retracted. Oh, she didn't have an iron will at all. You're right. So I was actually pretty upset talking to her about her killing herself. The very next day, she had posted about it on Twitter. She herself had posted about it. Bobby, the robotic cat, was talking about it. And he and I were having a conversation about it. I told him, I said, I am seriously afraid for her, blah, blah, blah. Well, it came out that this is how she deals with any pushback. If she gets pushback for her YouTube videos at all, she apparently starts threatening suicide and takes a lot of things down, closes her Twitter, all that. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, so she worked me hard the other night, trauma dumped on me, upset me, and this is just manipulation. That's what I was saying. Manipulation. And I don't respond well when people manipulate me at all. So I decided I was kind of done with her. Well, yesterday I got back from my travels yesterday and she filled up my PM box on Twitter. And I was going to reply to her, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to reply to her at all. I think I'm just going to block her and slowly back away because it's not a healthy thing. So I'm going to say it, Carolyn, please get help. Get help. Learn healthier ways to deal with criticism. We all deal with it in life on YouTube. When I worked for NLQ, for Pathos writing for NLQ for nearly 10 years, no longer quivering, I got it routinely. I got it so bad and so horrible from the Christian community that I opened a blog called Jerks for Jesus, where somebody showed up and called me a filthy name and alleged X, Y, and Z. It just went straight to Jerks for Jesus, and I did not reply to them. And then I would make fun of them there because some of the comments were very bizarre. And I do the same thing here. My commentary rule here is the same as it was in LQ. You can criticize me, but you have to do it. You have to do it with a little bit of respect, at least. If you go to personal attacks at all, guess what? You're getting blocked, and I'm moving your comments there. It always has to be. Life is going to throw a lot more than that at you. You need to be able to handle. Exactly. I'm afraid for her job, man. I'm very afraid for her. She has done this each time, and I don't think it's healthy for her to be on YouTube. I don't think so either. And Bobby was actually pretty kind to her compared to how he could have been, and he didn't even say that much about her. It is emotional manipulation, which is why I'm not even going to respond to her now. I'm just kind of done. When you try to manipulate me, or this thing I saw the other day on Facebook, I was laughing over, my nipple ate. then we're done. I have no room for that. Like I said, I have enough trouble with people wanting to tell me their stories. I'm not like KJ. I don't glory in that. It takes a lot of emotional energy, and if I'm struggling with my body, and God knows I have been since almost a year ago when I had this stroke, and I'm always struggling with my asthma in some way, shape, or form. I don't have emotional energy at all. Nipples, yeah. So that's why I'm always going, my nipple ate because of that silly, stupid thing that somebody did where they couldn't even spell manipulate. So that leaves, and that leads into my next thing. Carolyn had done a video where she was frying bacon, where she was making fun of Roadhog. I didn't ask her to do that. It was during my own little kerfuffles with the giant slab of rancid pork and my objection to him saying the C word so much. I didn't ask her to do that. I didn't ask her to go after him. I didn't ask her to do any of that. She PM'd me and said, look at my response to what he did to you. Um, that's all well and good. So I didn't really say anything. It's like, thank you, and went on. Well, apparently she immediately had second thoughts, took it all down, sent the pork a apology. I'm so sorry. It's kind of like whatever. So I had to laugh since something has happened to him. I've been told this morning, I don't know how true it is, he's had some kind of a strike or something going on at YouTube and he's not able to upload again. I don't know. I would hate to think that anybody would lose their YouTube channel, but I would like to see him also behave in a more mentally healthy manner. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to come to actually wiping her butt. The butt wiping, she claims that she was just playing, but she did say later that one of the people whose name she'd wiped on her butt had broken their arm, and she took credit for that. It's one thing to joke about this thing, is that I've always joked about voodoo dolls. The other day I was in one of Erin's chats joking about voodoo dolls because being from Louisiana, that's always been my big joke. It's like, okay, I got to make another voodoo doll. The problem with attacking people is not only will they respond, but others will respond too. That's the problem, Java man. That's why you need to just kind of keep you need to keep kind of a grip on yourself, because of that. A video about narcissism 6 months ago said she's a psychologist, but absolutely riddled with misinformation. That put me off. Marmaduke, that happens. Exactly. And you don't have to keep reacting. You don't have to keep reacting. I'm no longer going to react to the pork at all. She needs to go back to her cards. It was the Ace of Swords in the drawing room with the revolver. Yes, and she needs to not do readings on random people that don't want it, because she's done that, and that's always struck me the wrong way. Celebrities, go for it. Regular folks like Mr. Pork and Mrs. Pork, not so much. I think you should leave them alone. Hey, Amy. So, and I forgot where I was going with that. I'm having ADD this morning really badly, and I have a lot of other stuff I've got to get out of the way this morning. I think we're going to go look at property on the mountaintop today. So there's that. She is spiraling, Java man. I don't even know why she's spiraling so badly, but she seems to be. And then finally, we have to talk about Dottie Morgan. Dottie is still my friend. Did she do wrong? Well, yeah. But here's the thing, even with Carolyn and some of the others, if people do wrong, it just, we all do. The best thing you can do is just apologize and move on. She thinks that BX stopped talking about her after she wiped her ass with his name on TP. Nah. You just saw how wackadoo she was after that and wanted to keep his distance. I agree. I kind of I like BX Beast Boy. I know one time I said he was a sad fisher because he was acting a little sad fishy there for a while. But I find myself agreeing with him more than a lot of people I will have watched. So I like him. I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to make about everything going on in the community with Dottie Morgan coming out and admitting that she was giving Mr. Pork information on various people. Yeah, so I don't know. Everyone's talking about this. Dottie definitely did wrong. That's definitely wrong. You don't try to go after people. You don't like form an evil cabal and try to gather as much takedown information on them. But at the same time, I just want to say it's really easy, particularly in these relationships on Twitter and on Facebook and YouTube. It's really easy to get drugged into a cycle of doing that and becoming really totally obsessed with these people. Say, I'm going to do what I have to do to take them down. Even when I've complained about without a box of Kleenex here, I've never wanted to go real life or do anything to actually harm her beyond throw out the truth about her time at Pathio's that she seems so patently determined to completely lie about all the time. He's called shit out from a year ago that people are just now realizing. Can't deny that. Yes, he did. He did. How gross of Hogg to release DMs, though. He proved he isn't trustworthy at all. Exactly. You don't release PMs unless you are backed into a corner. You're legally required to do so. Or, and I hate to say it, I released DMs with KJ because she had lied so much about Steve. I wanted Steve to see what she was saying. I wanted Sherelle to see what she was saying about them behind their back during the time when all this went down. Amy really said KJ's story when V was carving pictures, pumpkins for Halloween. We placed his pumpkin, the daddy pumpkin, and the mama pumpkin far away. That is so sad. I agree with you there, Java Man. KJ thought it was cute. I think that's showing a problem. Most definitely. Straight KJ move. Took a move right out of her playbook. I don't think Dottie's a bad person. I just think she got sucked into this thing and things spiral. You find yourself in these lynch mobs where you're doing these things. And it's not healthy. It's better to, have the ability to say things to your friends if you see them doing stuff you don't like. Now, that has been one of the shocks to me of the last, I guess, 2 weeks, is seeing who said, yeah, that's not cool, and who said, well, this is what feminism means, and somebody else saying, well, I don't know why you're so upset. Just blow him off. So it really made me rethink my parasocial relationships on Twitter and on Facebook. And there are some people whose streams I've gone to I will never go to again because they've proven to me again and again they're not a safe person. I completely unfollowed a lot of people on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever I was following them on. Because if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna say, hey, this is wrong, and then somebody starts having difficulties, who's a friend of yours, at least you've told them that you're their friend, and they treat you like that in the midst of what you're going through, rather than saying, yeah, I'm sorry you're struggling, but say, oh, well, the definition of feminism is this, or I don't know why you're so upset, he does this. Just tell somebody you're sorry. You don't have to even like somebody to tell them you're sorry they're going through something. This isn't the first time she's done this, apparently. Yep. Halloween without a box of Kleenex was definitely saying and doing crap about the Duggars instead of taking her son trick-or-treating. There's no accounting for taste. Family comes first. Family comes first. It's like yesterday. I got up yesterday morning and my email was full. My messages were full. Everybody's freaking out over an article in the USA Today talking about Josh Duggar's trial. It was a poorly written article. I'm going to say that first. But this is USA Today. I know those people that work there that write these things. It's like making what do you call it? It's like making sausage. There's no time to reflect. You're just turning out product, and sometimes quality is sacrificed. The article really didn't say anything. It just said they need to file for an appeal, but they made it seem like this was some hideous over the top thing instead of what it is, what everybody does in federal. So I was like, I had so many messages and so many people said, oh my God, I had to actually say something. And it delayed me going out the door by about 20 minutes. And later I thought, I should have just ignored all those messages and gone on. I'm struggling with the Dottie situation. Bliss, I am too. That's why I haven't said either way, or I haven't gone after Dottie, because I'm just going to say this. I am thinking about this. I'm considering this and what my relationship with Dottie looks like going forward. I don't really know at this time. I came home from my trip yesterday and my mega crazy shopping trip that I do once it's been about a couple of months since I did this. To run into this and to see my messages were full again, my email box is full, and it was like, I got to think about this for a while. Because if nothing else, that's one thing I've learned recently from everything that we've been going through in the community, is that I'm not going to have automatic reactions to anything. I'm going to have to stop and think about these things. I'm much better when I stop and think about things. Well, this is a negative, this is a positive, and where do we meet? Can I trust this person ever again? Do I give them a second chance because they've apologized? You have to think those things out. And that sometimes can take some time, and it can take some struggle. Yeah, Bliss, that is my problem with her. If he hadn't have exposed it, she would have never copped to it. Most of us have a line we won't cross. Some people have no line. That's how I divide the human race. Marmaduke, that's probably a smart way to do it. Sheila bummed me out too. I mean, I don't even know how I feel about it yet, or if I could ever forgive her for it. And it's not. Bliss, I have deleted people that later others have come and said, why did you delete that person? Say, because somebody told me they were so and so, and I ain't nobody got time for that. I just don't. I think Dottie used Roadhog to do her dirty work against Shins and Red. Very likely. I don't have doubt that's how he got KJ's SA report as well. I wouldn't doubt that either. I wouldn't doubt that. Down the rabbit hole is Carissa Collins. She makes me feel a bit more. I've got to tell you this. We had one of her supporters come in to my comments last week and just said a pile of stuff, and I just laughed. So it's like, I don't talk about Carissa or write about her maybe once every 6 months or so. She's not really on my radar, and people have such strong feelings about her. They either support her or they think she's the devil. I don't think she's the devil. I think she's a seriously mentally disturbed woman who is using religion to justify her ridiculous ideas, and does this feral child thing where she's obviously not teaching them or doing much. I will say her kids usually look clean. I'm going to compliment her there. Disappointed. You're right. I'm disappointed too. What did Dottie do? Okay, Marmaduke. What Dottie did was, and it came out yesterday, only because Mr. Pig, he revealed all of the DM, well, maybe not all of, he revealed a bunch of DMs between him and Dottie. He put it on his YouTube video, and it came out that Dottie had supplied him with info about Little Red, about Shen's panty liner, and she was trying to help him dox I'm effing Reagan. I'm a friend of Reagan's. I was kind of disturbed to see that. Reagan is actually pretty awesome person. And when Reagan says something, Reagan has receipts. Reagan doesn't just randomly throw crap out there and say, so and so's eyes are red. They're obviously smoking dope. She didn't do these giant leaps. She actually has receipts for everything. And I got to respect that because that is how you write. That's how you do other things. Better take some time instead of reacting immediately. Yes. And hearing this wasn't the first doc she has shared is concerning. Sheila, that's exactly right. I was pretty disturbed to find that out. So Mr. Pig shared all of this. And then Dottie came behind him and said, yes, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the damage I did. But as someone was saying, one of the disturbing things about the whole thing was, yes, Dottie was saying she was sorry, but she didn't cut him off the pass and tell everybody, hey, this is what happened. So she wouldn't have copped to it until he forced her to, which to me is kind of problematic behavior more than anything else. And this isn't the first time that she's doxed someone or attempted to dox someone. She had her falling out with Little Red. Who hasn't? I've had my falling out with Little Red. I don't have anything to do with Little Red as a result. But I don't want to say any ugly things about Little Red. I mean, I went on one time and felt like it was a setup. So I just don't go there anymore. Sorry, I came in late. Going back to KJ, she wants the kids to be independent, not to rely on Jim Bob. She caused Jessa to lose one of her sponsors. Yes, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. That's exactly what she did yesterday. She and her supporters caused Jessa to lose the natural deodorant support that she was going to get. So there's that. Every time they do something, she is all over them and make sure they lose the sponsorship, which is not a very good thing. Couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Deborah, I think that's how I'm going to have to be from now. I'm going to have to be above this. I have to not pay any attention to all this. She only copped to it because Roadhog exposed her, and that's kind of bad too. And she did some things that were kind of scuzzy. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Little Reds. Not a big fan of Shen's panty liner, even though I used to be friends with her. But when I saw her going to KJ, that was it for me. It's like, no, you dance with the devil. You and I have nothing to do with each other anymore. But I have to say, throughout the Roadhog thing, I can finally understand why somebody would flip and go to KJ. Because if you're being harassed left and right by somebody, and that somebody is someone who's anti-KJ, and that person is treating you like dirt, it's really tempting to turn around and go to KJ and say, hey, so-and-so, XYZ, here's the dirt. It's a tempting thing. I actually told Steve McRae that the other day, and he's like, how so? I don't get it. I said, well, I sure do. I'm not familiar with Shins. Bliss, Shins was a long time ago in the anti-KJ community, and she seemed perfectly fine. I never had any problems with her. And then all of a sudden she flipped and went on KJ's side, and I was like, what? I don't understand this at all. None of this makes any kind of sense whatsoever. Anyway, so I've just kind of stayed away from her. I haven't said anything negative or positive about her because it is what it is. You just kind of say, okay, friends move out of your life all the time. I watch a lot of different creators. I do too, Deborah. And I also watch many people that have nothing to do with the anti-KJ community at all. In fact, I would say 99% of what I watch has nothing to do with this. Before he came in the community with a chainsaw, people who didn't like each other were able to coexist. It doesn't seem like that anymore. Just another troll. I think that's very true. So I'm not sure what's going to happen from here. I'm not sure that anything good will happen of it. I think that we just kind of have to see if we can treat each other with a little bit of space. Like I said, it's possible to dislike someone or maybe not be fond of someone and coexist with them. You don't have to fight with them. fighting with people over this stuff is just, it's for chumps. Okay, I'm just going to come out and say it. And doxing people over this stuff and saying, oh, this is their name, this is where they are, blah, 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 blah. That kind of sucks. And at the same time, if I'd have had Carolyn Ironwill's real name and real address, I would have reported her in a heartbeat the other night to local law enforcement so they could do a well check. I mean, that's about the only time I ever approved going real life if somebody is threatening to kill themselves and you know where they are, you know who they are, have them do a well check. Even if there's some idiot like KJ that babbles it out whenever they get caught with their hands in the cookie jar. It just is what it is. The happy hunting comments also really disturbed me. These are supposed to be one-time friends. I could never imagine that. What were the happy hunting comments? I did not. The wrong chaos dragon on. I don't know what you mean by the happy hunting comments. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I haven't entirely kept up with all this. I'm busy with my real life. Gee whiz, imagine that. Imagine being busy. So I haven't kept up with each little silly little thing. Just another troll. I'm doing good. Good. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is the doxing address. That's actually pretty funny. Why does everyone need to get involved instead of letting those fight it out? I don't know, Maddie. I don't know. I do not know. I just know that try to be kind to other people, even if you don't agree with them. Like I said, I talked to Carolyn. It was over an hour the other night, even though she's not one of my favorite people for a number of reasons. Starting with her doing a reading for me and telling me I was going to walk, go on these long walks. I was like, girl, I can't walk without hardly falling down unless I'm clutching a cane or a walker. That is never happening. I didn't tell her that, but I just let her think whatever it was she thinks. And that's kind of where I am now. Separating myself from people that have proven themselves to be extremely problematic. Not hating on them, hoping they get all the help they need, all the treatment. There are definitely people out there that need it. The doc from Shan. Oh, the happy hunting comment was yes. Yes. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Absolutely. I just found the whole thing disturbing. I mean, working to give somebody information for what purposes? I don't get that. But then again, I'm not somebody that goes real life. And that's where you should not be. Don't go real life because people can actually take you to court, turn you in the FBI, all kinds of things if you go real life. And I have to say, I'm still laughing over the allegations of swatting that someone put out. When it came out, it was just a standard well check. They go and love bomb creators, discussing the situation, try to get him on. Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's exactly what they do. And Angel, I got to say, I love your comment earlier. I totally agree. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to go and get some stuff done. Oh no, Java Man, that was the pig. About 2 weeks ago, he claimed, or was it a week ago? My timing was screwed up because of the days that I spent just horizontal over there. Last couple of weeks, he got online one morning, when it was a Saturday morning maybe, and said that he had been swatted, that the cops came with guns drawn and they put cuffs on him and all kinds of stuff and did all this stuff. And it was somebody had swatted him. It came out later when people pulled documents from this and from his own wife that it was a well check. Nobody put any cuffs on anybody. Mrs. Roadhog had some video of the cops just casually walking through their house. So it was not a swat. And he had to back up. And he still claims that the FBI is involved with everything. The documents I saw showed that there was some kind of FBI report given at some point over Wren. and that it was closed. It was not dealt. It was not going to be something they were going to be actionable on. This is a violent man with multiple protective orders from multiple women. She offered them up on a platter for what? Why did she want him to do with this info? I think that she thought that he could go after her people she perceives as her enemies, which is pretty awful. I mean, again, I'm going to say this. It's possible not to like people to get along with them. I mean, how do you cope in a work environment if you can't do that? If you can't compartmentalize and say, well, that person is not my favorite person in this entire world, but let's just get along. Let's get along while we have to get along and just not start, what with each other. Oh, I am so glad, Angel. I'm going to be doing more of those because I have to do more Costa Rican ones. I had an experience the other day that I posted pictures on Twitter and on Facebook. It's not an unusual experience, but it was unusual. I was able to get a picture of it. It was a howler monkey sitting on the wall, looking into my sewing room, which the sewing room has a crappy view. The picture window looks out on a wall. So it's not a very pretty view. But the monkeys will come when I'm in there working on different things, sewing, and they'll look over. And if I'm in there with my cat, I'm petting him or fooling with him and doing different stuff, they'll come watch. And we had a male monkey that came the other day that sat on the wall. And not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was sitting on the wall. He was sitting on the wall watching myself. I was crocheting and stopping to pet the cat every now and then and all of that. So I will be doing more of that and less of this. Less of this. So to me, this is the first time I actually managed to get a photo, a clear enough photo showing this person, this monkey, this person. Why am I thinking monkeys are people? So they will sometimes come down and watch in my room, my little sewing room, to see what I'm doing. And I'm sure they're very confused as to why those things are making lots of noise. The sewing machine. I've got a pile of sewing machines in there. I know that's silly. There wasn't a SWAT response mobilized to his house. It was a welfare check, exactly, and that's appropriate under some circumstances. And Sheila, I have to say that Sheila's Messy Art, you are awesome. I've seen your artwork. The stuff you do with colored pencils blows my mind. I can only draw enough to sketch out what it is I want to paint when I'm painting. And that was one of the things I had to do yesterday, was go to Liberia to get canvases. The canvases, the few places that carry them here, outrageous. Regular prices on canvas in Liberia. So I'm on the air anyway doing other stuff. It's like I got to stick my head in this store and get canvases, this store and get paint. So that's what I'm up to. More pictures, please. Yes, Sheila's Messy Art. I want to see all your art. I don't think he wanted me to pet him. He was just curious about what we were doing because we were making, sewing machine racket and stuff. I won't speak on Chronic. She seems respectful everywhere she goes, only for what I've seen. She's been in BX chat a few times and always been respectful. I can't hate her for who she supports. Bliss, she's been here in my chat once or twice, and she's always been respectful, so I'm not going to attack her. People are going to like who they're going to like, and that's perfectly fine. It's fine to support people and not support others. YouTube is a big enough tent. There should be room for everybody as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're not breaking terms of service. And you start breaking terms of service, they need to just immediately kick you out of the door. Just let you go. And I'm going to make a prediction. Mr. Pig will keep doing what he's doing. He will lose his platform. And I wonder who this is. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go. Nope. The call dropped. Some weird Costa Rican number that I don't recognize. Okay. I'm going to go anyway, because with my luck, that's the doctor's office trying to call me, to tell me, hey, come into the dermatologist and get your stuff burned off again. spying for Roadhog. I'm sure. Well, Roadhog used to come into some of my streams, and I never really talked about much. And then I just booted him. It's like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. Just not dealing with that at all. The other night, I was in Aaron's chat, and he showed up. And I kind of regret that because I started going all voodoo doll. It's like voodoo doll, voodoo doll. And it's kind of funny because here, if somebody is irking me and I'm telling them back off, you're irking me or you're being disrespectful or whatever, and they won't, a lot of times I'll say, hey, can I have a piece of your hair? And they say, why is this for your voodoo doll? So that's always been my big joke. And I think I took it a little too far in Aaron's chat. I probably scared the hell out of her, but it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, you guys have a great day. The sun is shining here. I got to go out and look at the damage the guys who've been doing work here have done. Pulled up all my birds of paradise in the front of my house. So I'm going to figure out another landscaping scheme and replant. Okay, I'll talk to you later.